talking about the university facilities last week, Wednesday. We mentioned that we mentioned about the library and some of the things that we have in the library. We have an e-section, we have workstations, but I'll leave that to the acting librarian in the university to present on that and also show you um, what exactly that they have in the library. It is important as students because you're primarily here for purpose of attaining knowledge. So it's important that you make the library your second hostel, a place where you would be comfortable, where you would have the facilities that you have, the choirs, the ambience, the silence. I mean, the ambience, the peace, the calm, the tranquility of what a normal library should be is what we have in the university library. And the university librarian and the other library staffs are accessible and they're always there for you. Even if you meet them by the road, they'll make you laugh and then they'll also attend to whatever issues or challenges that you have. We want to welcome Mr. Ayo Salami. He is one of the most popular people in this campus. If you come on in Summit and you don't know him by your first or second day, then you're not doing well at all. So I want to welcome Mr. Ayo Salami as he presents on the university library. And yeah, you have the floor now. So
Thank you so much. Uh, let me start on. Let me stand on existing protocol. Good day from anywhere you are listening to this program. Summit University offer 2022 orientation program. Let me seize this opportunity to formally welcome you to Summit University offer, and as well to please consider yourselves as the lucky to have gained admission to Summit University offer. I'm the acting librarian. My name is Salami Ayo. I'll be talking on my Summit Library expositions, where we'll have the outline. We'll be talking about the overview, what the library looks like, the visions, the missions, SUNO of a library, the unit of the library, the rules and regulation of the library, then the conclusion. Well, Summit University Library came into existence. That was September 7, 2017. Then we had the complementary, services that we render in order to support the curriculum and the research of the university for both students and as well staff. The mission. The Summit University of our library will be center of excellence in promoting research and the academic framework of the university. The purpose of the library is to create easy accessibility, connectivity to international database that will engender the research and development. We have the missions. The Summit University of the library will offer a solid research foundation with connections to international outlets and resources to promote effective instructions, academic discovery with social significant applications. Now, we need to know what SUNO Library is all about. It's an institution that selects, acquire, process either printed or non-printed information resources in order to satisfy the users. That's to tell you that the purpose of having Summit University Library is for us to select, looking for the best information resources that can ensuit the curriculum of the university. Then after that, we acquire information materials matters. And for you to have acquired information materials, it can come in three ways, whether by donation, gifts, endowment, or by purchase. Then process. We're also making sure that all the information materials in the library are well processed. Let's take for instance now, you have series of information being dispatched and it is not classified to where it ought to have been, then it will be difficult to you as a student to have located such of information material. So in that regard, we're making sure that all the information materials in the library are well processed, are well classified, so that when you intend to source for irrespective of any information materials, you can be able to have access to it with ease. Then we have units of the library. Yes, that is what you need to know. We have nothing less than 6 units of the library, and they perform series of the functions. Number one, we have the circulation unit, we have the cataloging and classification unit, we have the reference unit, we have the serial unit, we have the programming unit, then we have the A library. Yes, let's talk about what circulation unit is all about. Well, in our circulation unit, we have nothing less than 150 seating capacity. And aside that, at the circulation unit, this is a unit that stands to be one of the priority units in the Summit University Library. This is a place where a student will come to register himself, or a staff to come to register himself or herself to become bona fide users of the library. And for you to use the library, you must have it at the back of mind that it is mandatory that you have to engage in registration. That is the first step in which you have to engage in. Then at the circulation unit, we also engage in charging and discharging of information materials. Let's take, for instance, maybe you needed a kind of information materials that you want to have or you want to study on, and you look at it that the only way in which for you to study irrespective of any information materials at the circulation is for you to borrow. What we normally engage in, after you might have engaged in registration, then we issue out sort of a book for you to borrow it. We lent books out. And aside charging and discharging of information, we also engage in sharing of information materials. Let's say, for instance, after you might have used information materials, you have it being kept on the table, the officer in charge will have to retrieve it, so that whenever you want to have access to such of an information material, it will be very easy for you to retrieve. And that is what I've also discussed about the processing of information, classifying information materials, which has to be retrieved using the core map. Then we also take the day-to-day statistics of the students or staffs that come to the library. We also engage in weeding. When you are talking about weeding, you are talking about having all those information material that you see that they are not in use anymore. Then we weed them, place them in the new one. So that is for the circulation unit. Then for the reference unit, at the reference, we engage in answering to queries. And what do we mean by queries? Let's say, for instance, you're having an assignment, you want to write a project, you want to write a report. We help in either users or irrespective of any users, whether student or staffs, in assisting them in answering to a query, not a query that will be given at the place of work or won't give you query. That's not what we're referring to. We're referring to when you're having a kind of a challenge or how to solve uh, questions, or you want to write a project at the reference unit. That is what we engage in. So you can see that reference collection consists of the standard reference tools, such as dictionary. If you get down to reference unit, you see that the information materials there are not meant to read from cover to cover. When someone is not a mad person, can you imagine if someone ought to get in touch with you that he wants to read dictionary from the page 1 to the last page, or he wants to read an encyclopedia from first page to the last page? Then that tells you that the information materials meant for the reference unit are only meant to solve queries. You understand? They are meant to solve queries. So in that unit, you will find dictionary, directories, index, abstract, handbook, atlas, and what have you, or government publication. So there, we assist users in curating or having a kind of selective dissemination of information. Let's say, for instance, you want to source for an information on what is money. Even you are using your Google, you see series of information that is going to pop up. But mind you, you must select which one is appropriate that can easily solve the queries that such users are brought before you. Then we also engage the current awareness services. Let's say, for instance, during fasting or during fasting, you see that they have to engage you that this is what you should eat. Don't eat this during breaking period or when you want to even engage in that fasting. So in that regards, we make sure that all those information that will be provided will be very current, that is going to be up to date. Now, what is involved now? When you want to talk about current information now, you have to talk about the Labour Party, you have to talk about APC, you have to talk about PDP. So in that regards, we also engage in creating current awareness services. So, sorry, I have to also let you know that those information materials at the reference unit are only meant for consultations. You can't borrow them, you can only use them there, and you can as well make photocopy. So for serial units, this is a unit that deal with current issues of periodical. When you are talking about periodical, you are talking about those information that comes either daily, monthly, weekly, yearly, you understand? That doesn't have intention to stop at any time. Like newspaper, for instance, they come virtually every day. Magazines, it might be once in a year, it might be twice in a year. So those information that you're going to find at the serial unit are only meant for consultations. And what are those information materials you can find at the reference at the serious unit? Talk of magazines, talk of newspaper, talk of journal articles. You see that they come in series, or they come yearly, monthly, and what have you. So all serials are indicated by prefix called SER. Means that any books that they ever found within the library that had SER, then that tells you that it's a serial materials. So to tell you that the information materials there are only meant for consultation, are not meant to be borrowed. Yes, we also have the reprographic unit. The word reprography means reproduce. There you can have your photocopy. I just get in touch with you that when you are talking about serials and reference, that those information materials there are only meant for consultation. There are times you may want to, like, maybe you want to make photocopy. So far, you have been told that all those information materials that the serials unit and the reference unit are not meant to be borrowed. Then you can go to the reprographic unit in order to make photocopy. Not only that, you may have some document that intend to, to make a photocopy. There, we provide a service for you in order to make a photocopy. Then cataloging and classification. This unit is a unit that I have to very sincere with you that just a layman cannot just enter. And you should also have it at the back of mind that when you are talking about cataloging and classification in our various homes, we engage in cataloging and classification. Let's say, for instance, you are at the market to buy rice and beans. You now have it at the back of mind that probably because you want to cook rice and beans, you mingle the two and cook it at a go. You now see that if you are not eating, if the rice and beans does not turn to way of making eba, they will have turned to be another thing. So when you are talking about cataloging, we are talking about listing out the details of information materials, the bibliographic details. When you are talking about bibliographic details, you are talking about the title page, the person who had written the book, the place where the book were being published from, the centimeter of the book, does the book has a reference? So it has to do with the details of an information material. So we're going to list that out when it comes to cataloging. And if the librarian now fails or we fails to list all those things out, it will be difficult for you to source for such of a book because you won't have a way in which you can be able to locate such of an information material. Then when we're talking about classification, in our various homes, we have our sitting rooms, we have our dining and whatsoever. Likewise, in the library, you can't just bring in books and for you to just, be having them. No, those books has to be what? To be properly classified so that it will be more easier for you as users to be able to have access to such of an information. So in this regard, this unit concerned with processing of information materials before making it accessible to users, which involve necessary tools such as LC. We use LC to classify our books. Now we used to have mechanic. Now we are now having auto mechanic. You understand? That tells you that irrespective of any mechanic, you must be able to have your tools to carry on, irrespective of any fault you want to fix in a car. So likewise in the library, we make do with Library of Congress classification scheme to classify irrespective of any information materials. Then we also have the A library. The A library is a unit that has a sitting capacity of 30 computer, that is working station, which is connected to even a fiber optic network. So it's not just a mere network that just I was just been wondering when I used my phone yesterday, and I had to be at the we used to have a server room. I use my personal data, and for me to even download a particular document, it takes me nothing less than close to 30 minutes. Now remember that, oh, hadn't been having to be at the place of work, this thing will have been done easily. So this morning I had to go to, to the virtual library in order to download all those information resources. And it's just click and play. You don't need to disturb yourself. So at the virtual library, we subscribe for fiber optics. Within the university, you can be able to have access to our information materials without even going to the library. We used to have what we call PDF drive. PDF drive it holds nothing less than 82 million worth of textbooks. For us to even subscribe for Emerald, you dare not have nothing less than 12 million to subscribe for Emerald, which Summit University Library also have. Emerald is a database which you can be able to have access to journal articles and textbook. We also have ProQuest. ProQuest costs nothing less than invariably 14 million as of today. We also subscribe for ProQuest that you can be able to have access to as regard as information material. Then we have series of open source database like Azure, Science Direct, PDF Drive, Google Scholar that can as well enrich your research. So come to Summit University A library, virtual library, will be able to attend to you as prompt. We engage in selective dissemination of information at the A library. We also engage in current awareness services. We also stand as a librarian to answer irrespective of any queries being brought before us. You can see the demonstration. The system we have there is all in one. It can work without even electricity, and it's also a screen touch. If I've been wondering that within Kwara State, it is only Summit University who had gotten such of a system, and I can boast of that. Go anywhere if you can see such of a system, then you can now tell me that librarian, you are lying. So at the e-library, we attend to your queries. What are the rules? Virtually, even mother to father, children to father, you must be able to have ethics within the family. What you should and at the same time you you have the access in order to have access to the information materials. And by and large, you should also have it at the back of mind that library is not a place that you will be able to be you know, telling others that you've reserved a seat. You don't reserve seats in the library. We have more than enough seats, if that ought to be. But there are people that probably because they want to have a side discussion, they want to, disturb within the library, they will have to reserve a seat for other colleagues. It is not allowed. Then library management will not be held responsible for the loss of personal belongings. Yes, when you are coming and you have any valuable things in your bag, please take it along. We have a place where you can keep your things. We have a locker that you can be able to also have a key to, so that when you want to keep your thing, you keep it at the safety hands. But irrespective of anything being missed, it is not to the responsibility of the library, to pay for. Then the library user should what? Be professionally attired as specific in the student. And yes, the attire specific sincerely matters, and it has been written in the handbook. When you are coming to the library, you should know that you cannot just come a mere or just come anyhow to the library. You understand? Then the library user should be what? Reserve right to inspect bags. No, we don't have that. We can't be inspecting your bag. And I've just said that irrespective of any of your belonging, we have a locker in which you can be able to keep them. Then when a user is caught breaching the library rules and regulations, immediately the action will what? It will be taken. In fact, you might even be told not to come to the library, or you will be asked to pay for a fine for breaching the rules and regulations of the library. Then food and drink. Yes, we don't allow food and drink. The aspect of rodent or not rodent, if for us to safeguard what we have there, the intellectual property we have gotten in the library, we should not, and we're not going to allow eating or drinking within the library. You are allowed to take in water because it does not contain anything sugary or whatsoever. So we allow taking in water. The mobile phone or any other personal electric gadget must be switched off. Most of us are using what Yoruba call tonosobe. You know how the tonosobe normally sounds? It's just like an alarm. So in that regards, you may distract someone reading, and it's not virtually everybody that likes, noise. So in that regards, you have to put your phone on silent when you are to use the library. The user have prohibited from making or answering calls. When you intend to make any calls, you are pleased. You can be pleased to walk out and make your call, so that you're not going to disturb irrespective of anybody in the library. Then this discussion room is used for academic purpose only and should not be used for what? Private study or social. Yes, we have a discussion room, and that discussion room is meant for you to have chat, discuss, read newspaper, and what have you. So it is not meant for a private or social purpose, because there are most of us that doesn't follow the rules and regulations. You might want to go there and be playing music. That is not really allowed. They're eating, drinking, sleeping, smoking are not allowed. Even smoking as a normal human being, it's not even good to health. So it's also part of issues that we don't take within the library. So by and large, those rules that govern the library. You must be able to adhere to the ethics and the rules and regulation that governs the Summit University Library. So in conclusion, the available resources at Summit University Library are meant to satisfy users. Yes, we have series of resources, so I'll get in touch with you that we have offline, we have online. You can be able to have access to fiber optics. Thank God for our new Vice Chancellor who had made provision for that. So be rest assured that Summit University will be there for you. Summit University Library will be there for you to cater for, irrespective of any information needed. Maybe you need to solve assignments, or you need to solve irrespective of any queries. So the above rules and regulations must be followed strictly at all times. So thank you for listening, and I'm so sure for you coming to the library, we you should be sincerely rest assured that we cater for you and provide irrespective of any information materials being needed. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for that comprehensive presentation Mr. Ayosalami. He is the acting librarian of the university, and he has, what a beautiful presentation. He has been able to tell you what to expect when you come into the university library. And the university library, like he said, is uh, equipped to standard. You find lots of books there, lots of e-resources, lots of workstations, and the internet speed is unbelievably fast. And so the library is also another important part of the university, and they also are waiting to receive you with um, open hands and to also meet you with all your needs. If you have any needs for anything, like I said, the acting librarian is very accessible as much as all the other staffs of the library. Um, so I don't know if anybody has any question for the acting librarian before he leaves. Okay. And I don't know if anybody has any question. Okay, so in the absence of any question, what's a very big thank you. Please don't forget that this session is still recorded, and you can also watch or rewatch these sessions on the university YouTube channel. Just visit www.youtube.com/Suno TV, and you'll be able to watch our sessions live.
الصلاة والسلام على